Hi, my name's Phil. I like to talk about politics. In this video, I'd like to discuss President Trump's more blatant examples of defrauding the American public and whether Boris Johnson will follow this lead and increase the level of abuse that he engages in as well. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, then please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, Donald Trump's decision to not take the salary that comes with being president of the USA, of course, was lauded by his supporters as the actions of someone putting the country first. So how can you criticise that man? He doesn't even take the salary. He's allowed to. It's perfectly lawful. And, but he doesn't wish to benefit personally from being president. But I'm sure the real reason had more to do with wanting to keep his tax return secret, something that, bafflingly, he is managing still to do. But this isn't just the spiteful accusation of someone who doesn't appreciate Trump's politics and just goes, oh, he's probably just not taking the salary because of this reason. He has taken money. He has taken hundreds of millions of dollars from the public purse to benefit him personally. And the most obvious examples of this, because there may be many others that are not in the public eye, are twofold. There's his golfing excursions and the presidential promotion of his hotels. So the golfing, you could argue, is the more egregious because Trump was famous for calling out President Obama before him for playing golf. Oh, this man keeps playing golf. Despite the fact that Obama never played a single game of golf whilst he was, on duty, so to speak. He only ever played golf whilst he was on holiday. The normal holidays, not the sort of holidays that Trump takes now. And, the normal holidays that any American politician takes. And also, Trump criticised him for playing with friends. I mean, just because Trump doesn't have friends, no reason to criticise Obama for doing that. But he said, oh, you should be doing it with world leaders. And Trump himself said on the campaign that he would be too busy to play golf. I won't have time to play any golf, he said, believe me. Well, some people did. In 2019, Trump reportedly played golf for 20% of the entire year. That is 1 in 5 days that was spent playing golf. This president, who was going to be too busy to play any golf at all, has found time more than once a week on average to play golf in 2019. And was he playing with world leaders? Is this just a different way of international relationships? Because, Donald Trump's a different kind of guy, he's a different kind of president. Is he just doing it in a different way? No, he's not. He's not going around with world leaders when he's playing golf. And when you consider that he spends quite a lot of that time playing golf on his own golf courses, and that he has a necessary retinue as President of the United States who have to be charged for the use of those facilities. He doesn't just get to wave them all through to the security guard, they're with me. No, they all get charged. And that's his own personal business, raking it in, which ends up, much of it, as his personal profit. So literally every time he decides that he wants to play golf on one of his own courses, he is charging the American public so that he can enjoy himself. And needless to say, whilst he's doing this, he's not even doing his job as president at the time, and not that I really want to criticise him for that. I don't actually want to throw that criticism in, because when you look at the global and domestic damage that he causes when he is working as president, if we can call it that, then maybe it's better he spends rather more time on the golf course than he does even now. Then there are his hotels. So Trump has further enhanced profits at his hotels by encouraging foreign dignitaries to use them if they wish to receive his favour. A bit like group from Saudi Arabia comes over and he's saying, well, I'd like to help you out. Shall we have a meeting in this place? Oh, I've got a hotel there, by the way. Yeah, you should go there. He even tried to have the G7 meeting hosted there, but the backlash was too strong even for him. And the latest example of profiteering is the plan to host a Republican meeting at one of his properties. And then you think, well, that's party matter. He's just fleecing party delegates there. Whatever, they're Republicans, they can afford it. But no, as president, of course, remember that retinue of bodyguards and others that he'll have to have with him, because he's still president, even if he's going to attend something that's for party business. He is still the president. He still has that retinue with him. And they all need to be put up in the hotel that he is choosing. And that's the fact that the hotel has been chosen by the president, not his security detail. So it's not necessarily the best venue, just the one that personally profits Trump. And in a spectacular act, his hotel has for this event more than doubled the normal prices. And so knowing that that hotel is going to be getting a load of customers that can't choose to go elsewhere when you suddenly rake up the prices, because Trump's the boss and he's saying, no, we're going to this hotel, and the American people will just pay whatever it costs. They've just massively jacked up the prices. And that is not just naked profiteering, that is actually defrauding the American public. And, frankly, this one junket alone, never mind all this, he's not taking a salary, this one junket alone could make him more profit than the presidential salary pays that he declined anyway. Because, the salary for world leaders isn't necessarily all that high. The way you make money if you want to be a world leader is be on the take, much like President Trump has been. And as a Briton, I can't help but observe this aberrant behaviour and wonder how our newly empowered Prime Minister Boris Johnson is going to mirror it, because Johnson has form on this one. We're still waiting to see if there's going to be a criminal investigation into Boris Johnson's misuse of public funds as Mayor of London. Most famously, he gave well over £100,000 of public money to Jennifer Arcuri, and the decision on the investigation should have been delivered well before the end of last year. The fact that it has not, when the evidence is clearly in favour of at least an investigation, suggests to me that there's not going to be one, that he is going to nobble, the various agencies that should be deciding this. In this particular case, it's the police watchdog. And he's going to have them completely in his pocket, just like he already has the National Crime Agency in his pocket and the Metropolitan Police. And that it is still being delayed at this point means that, I think we're going to be looking back at yet another travesty of justice, yet another criminal investigation that he's going to get away with. He personally is going to get away with. And when you consider that Johnson is aping Trump in so many ways already, and by the way, I don't think he's copying Trump as such. A lot of people drawing these parallels. I think you've got to bear in mind that they both have a common mentor in Steve Bannon. But when you consider that Johnson is aping Trump in this way, and he looks like personally getting away with the misappropriation of public funds that he's already committed, I'm just going to think surely he's going to feel emboldened to be able to abuse the public purse for whatever he wants over the next few years. And it won't be quite in the same way as with Donald Trump, because Johnson is different. I think whereas Trump saw the presidency as a profiteering racket opportunity, Johnson seems more attracted to the power, but the scale of the abuse is likely to be no less nonetheless. And so along with everything else, I think it's also going to be incumbent upon us to pay very careful attention to any government spending, particularly that ultimately goes nowhere. It's quite a common Conservative trick, in order to dole out lots of public money to their friends and donors, is what you do is you issue a load of public contracts. Obviously, you grant them to the people who've donated to you or to your party or your friends. And then what happens is you end up with nothing, and the minister simply goes, well, we needed this thing at the time, we needed this project going, but actually now we don't, so that's why it's ultimately gone nowhere. It happens all the time. And, I think we're already looking at a situation in Britain over the next few years. I mean, it's sort of been happening over the last 10 years. I think it'll just get worse in the next 5 years. Just like in the USA, where taxation is going to be reduced. So that means you already have less money to spend on public services. But then when you also consider that the government are going to be wasting lots of public money, it'll go nowhere, because it is literally just being used to siphon public funds into private hands, private bank accounts, offshore bank accounts in the case of, the British donors. So you're going to be wasting more public money. You're going to be having a smaller lump of public money in the first place because you're going to lower taxes. And the squeeze on public services will then hit two ways. So then you'll have the situation that David Cameron and George Osborne created, where that squeeze then ends up with more unemployment. So even fewer people contribute in taxes. And remember, the money that is being siphoned out doesn't get siphoned out into the economy for some of it to trickle back. No, we're talking about wealthy people who funnel it offshore. And given that those sorts of people have been sending even more of it outside of the UK for fear of the economic chaos of Brexit about to hit it, then we're going to get even less. So anyway, I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, then please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.